Let's get called to order. Can you start with a roll call, please?
Commissioner Ashworth,
Here.
Commissioner Banks,
Here.
Commissioner Hassler, Commissioner Thompson,
Here.
Commissioner Wild.
Here.
All right, thank you. Lieutenant, would you like to lead us in the pledge this morning?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, we'll get started with our open discussion items. Hopefully, everybody had a good Valentine's Day, and if you got off yesterday for President's Day, we hope you had a good President's Day as well. Do we have anything for open discussion?
Happy Fat Tuesday.
Happy Fat Tuesday. We shall all be in New Orleans, but we are here. We are here.
Mr. Chairman, I have two things very quickly.
Take your
So in
time.
a trivia question, 71 years ago yesterday, anyone know what happened?
Your birthday?
Close. We're going to start that way today. Just wait. Well, our historian, retired Chief Kleinick, discovered that the very first Board of Police Commissioners meeting happened on February 16th, 1955. So 71 years ago, for those of you who were around. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So thank you for that.
very
And
good.
secondly, I heard today that one of our employees is going to be on Wheel of Fortune. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell us more. She's in the midst. Tell us more. Tell us more. Come on.
Hi, my episode will be airing at 3:30 in the morning on Thursday because of the Olympics. But I will be on Great Day St. Louis, Thursday morning at 9. That'll be live, and I filmed this in September.
How wonderful.
Right. Could we get a selfie? Could we get a selfie while you're here?
So you can't tell us if you won or
Tell us
not.
if you won. Spill the beans.
Sworn to secrecy.
The only commissioner, the only thing is in August, she's gone for 3 weeks. You know those trip things they have? No, I'm kidding. I have no idea.
Oh, okay, okay.
Well, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Does it?
All I had.
That's it. That's great. That's 71 years. That's fantastic. Okay, nothing else for open discussion. Chief, I will turn it over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Thank you guys for waiting on me, all right? I made it on time.
Absolutely.
Took the pressure off the deputy chief.
He was sweating too.
He brought his glasses.
First up, I have some promotions to make. Sergeant Dave Mousy. Okay, congratulations. Dave, how long you been with us?
15 years.
15 years, and you're just leaving DCI, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Cool. Meet the board.
Congratulations to you again.
Sarge, you bring anybody with you? No, sir? Okay, good. Up next, Ms. Kayla Hicks. Congratulations. Kayla's in communications, and she's going to safety dispatcher 3. 2. I got 3 here. We'll straighten that out, okay? Congratulations. Thank you. Want to meet the board? Kayla, got anybody here with you?
My wife and my dad.
And next on the list is Mr. James Price, working for emergency communications. James? Sure. Cool. Meet the board. James, you got anybody here with you? I do not. You do not? Just my boss. You got your boss here. Just your boss, right? Right. That's it as far as promotions.
Okay.
Chief's report, budget. Terry? Commissioner, those that want to stay for this part of the meeting, feel free to do so. If not, enjoy the rest of your day.
I forgot to say that. You're right. We forgot to give him a running start. It was so riveting, I couldn't stop. See, everybody stayed for you.
It's very informative. Okay, I'm starting with the 2025. It finally closed last weekend, and we returned 791,000. Of that was the 400 supplemental we received, and then 250,000 we had encumbered for a Tech Electronics contract that procurement didn't get finished, so we had to give that back. I have requested for them to reappropriate it into this year's budget, but I haven't heard yet. So we did pretty good then. We needed the supplement at that point, really. Okay, so then 2026, it's really early. I did show your salary and fringes on there just so you can kind of see it, and I think we all know how quickly that changes with fringes and that. And then I'm still working with the chiefs and everybody else on rearranging funds for the 2026 budget so that we can cover invoices and that kind of thing and see what's immediately needed. The budget is now 186 million because it carries over 3.1 million POs encumbrances from 2025, so that's why it increased on the sheet I gave you. And then the last thing is ARPA. We have spent 41,775,000. We've submitted to the state 20,887,000, and we've been reimbursed 20,434,000. And that is it. Do you have any questions?
I have three, thank you. Can we go in reverse order? So we're about $20 million behind then on the ARPA funds. So you said we spent 40, we've submitted 20, we've reimbursed.
Because it's half of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so continue.
So 23 million is what we'll get reimbursed.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry.
Nope, that's okay. I appreciate that.
It looks like it's right on track. I kind of, every week I'm talking to them.
Very good, thank you. The second is on the overtime page that you provide us.
Yes.
Thank you for putting the 25 year-to-date average, 25 average and comparing January to it. It's helpful, but what was knowing the cyclicality of our business, right? Some months are higher or lower just due to number of days in the month. Can you get us at some point what January overtime dollars were? January of 25, so we can compare 26 to 25, just for the month. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Actually, it's done in hours, isn't it? So forgive me, do it in hours. Just
Okay.
so we can do it.
Oh, well, I have that on the second page of that report down at the bottom.
It's 1,000 hours less.
Yes.
I'm missing it.
At the,
Page 2 on the very bottom.
yes.
Right here.
On the very bottom. You know, have it.
The very bottom, on the right-hand side, left-hand side. You got it.
It has all the months of overtime for 25, and then, are you missing it?
See it?
I do, but I'm confused then, because this one, page 2 says 11,700, and page 3 says 9,972.
That is, if you go to the very bottom of the page.
Got it.
3.
Thank you. My third question is, there are a couple of accounts, and I'm not so much worried about the ones that might have been paid up front, right? So insurance, but there are a couple of accounts that we've spent 30% of our budget already in January. I'm less worried about which ones, it just is, are there plans in place on how we're going to adapt for those, or will those be handled on an ad hoc basis?
For salary and fringes?
Nope, really, it's irrelevant of which ones,
You're
it's just,
saying it.
yeah, because there's some who have well overspent the 8% that they would roughly be per month, right? If you prorated it out, not suggesting it should be prorated, but Some are at 32%, and it's not something that you would expect necessarily to be fully paid, like an insurance policy. Okay, we paid it in January, it's 100% for the year.
Right. So with this, it would just be 1 month of all the fringes. But those fringes, the percentages can change by county government. And that's when we get the fluctuation. Is that?
I'm not worried about salaries. That piece is not, no, so, all right, well, I'll talk to you later. It's just,
Okay.
some of them are well above what you would expect them to be for a first month. It's just, do we have a plan in place, or is there a philosophy in place on what we do if we're gonna very quickly butt up against 100%?
Like building and equipment maintenance, we've spent 123%.
Photo materials and supplies, it's 32%, right? There's small things out there. They're small, but it's gonna present the bigger issue pretty quickly.
So the, like, self-insured, I'm a little worried that this is building equipment maintenance. Okay, so that was like the camera payment we already did, the 1.4?
Okay, so it's a one-time payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like in the insurance, say, like in that self-insured, they
And
take it immediately.
Not worried about those. Yeah.
So just like the 2721, that one, the 1.4 million, is that the one you're talking about?
There's several, Terry. It's a concept question. It's not a specific,
Okay.
it's not a question about one.
Like electrical communications contracts, we'll encumber them in January. We could still use 26 money starting January 1st, even though 25 was still going on. So we encumbered stuff, or we paid like the contract for cameras. And so that shows like we've already spent 1.4 million.
Those aren't the ones I'm worried about, Terry. Again, the ones that we paid up front, I'm not, I'll go offline with you and come back to you later. Okay, thank you.
I had a question. Could you, like this second or third page, can we just, for my own reference, maybe it got cut off, the heading of what that is?
So that are the overtime hours. I do.
No, I know, but I didn't know till we started talking about it, so if you
Oh, I'm
could put
sorry.
that
Yeah,
at the
I'll
top.
put a heading on it.
Okay,
Yep.
that would be good. And then on the out-of-town travel section, I think, check that column. I don't think that percentage is right.
Okay, so the out-of-town travel got cut, so we have a 0 budget for it, but we do a lot of out-of-town travel that gets reimbursed from like East-West Gateway or something like that, so we can't charge that to asset sharing like we do our regular out-of-town travel, so we have to charge it to our budget. So it's gonna show a negative, and then the reimbursement goes directly in there to offset that.
Okay, but that percentage isn't right.
Oh, yeah, it's not. Right? Out-of-town.
I just
Well, it's
check.
just-
I just want
yeah.
to, I mean, I hear what you're
It's
saying
just-
about the numbers,
So the
but,
budget's $1. I had to put that in there, and we've spent 9,000. So it's that much
no,
over
no.
budget.
No, I get it. I get that. I just wanted to make sure that whatever formula, it's right so it doesn't affect the whole entire column. That one's off, but, you never know. Somebody might have.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Is it?
I thi-
Thank you.
No questions? Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Terry.
Thanks, Terry. All right. Captain?
Good morning.
Morning.
You'll notice a slightly different format this morning, like we had discussed last month. We're going to be a little bit more strategic in our presentation of statistics, and then offset some time with a unit at our bureau on, each month that kind of contributes to the mission of the department, people you don't typically hear from on a monthly basis. So after I get done talking, you'll have a Faith Kistler from our forensic intelligence unit to talk about what they do. It's actually pretty important, and they do a great job upstairs. So jump right into it. These are patrol stats for the month of January. So for the month of January, patrol handled the better part of 15,000 calls for service, 14,669 directed calls for service, and 14,284 self-initiated calls for service. So out of that, 256 felony arrests were made, 265 misdemeanor arrests were made, and 76 guns were seized. So that's from a combination of a directed and self-initiated calls for service. Of our arrests, 26 incidents of use of force occurred. 23 of those are from the Division of Patrol. So comparing that to last year, very comparable, if not slightly down just a little bit. Any questions on that slide for everyone? So crimes against persons data, we're continuing to enjoy that downward trend that we saw last year. So every category is down with an overall decrease of almost 15%. The only category that's showing upwards is assaults with aggravated assaults with a knife or cutting instrument, showing 10 compared to 7 last year. However, whenever you look at those incidents closer, we actually had the same number of incidents. We just had a couple incidents with multiple victims. So it's actually even. It's just we had 1 or 2 incidents where we had 1 or 2 victims associated with those. But overall, everything is downwards. Our infographic for homicides, we had 3 homicides in unincorporated or St. Louis County patrol areas, and then 3 municipal homicides. Included in that number is the double homicide that we handled for Richmond Heights, where the city officers were struck head on, and then 2 individuals were killed in that. But overall, they've had 6 crimes against persons, handled 6 homicides, and 3 of those were from our department. And the majority, other than the vehicular homicide, the other ones were firearms. Crimes against property, overall, same thing. Everything's trending downwards, almost a decrease of 20%. You'll see a slight uptick with the category of all other larcenies. The majority of those are, in January, we had some scrap and copper-related thefts. So that's where that increase is coming from. But overall, everything is trending downwards. Crimes against society, you'll see a very large increase by 24 compared to 11 last year for a drug, equipment, or paraphernalia violations. That's through self-initiated activity. Majority like traffic stops and whatnot where they're coming across that stuff. But overall, that category is also down by 16.6%, with the exception of that large increase of 118% for drug and equipment violations. And then kind of a sneak peek into next month, we're going to reach out to the Highway Safety Unit to talk more about DWI enforcement, how proactive that unit in particular is. That's kind of a heat map from January of where most of our DWIs occur. We had 56 in January, and the majority of those are along that Highway 55 corridor. Our first precinct and our South County precinct areas is where a lot of our DWI enforcement takes place at. That's also where we see a lot of collisions taking place.
So do you have any feel if that's normal? I mean, is that distribution kind of normal, what we would have seen 3 years ago or 5 years ago?
I asked the same question. Yes, it's pretty consistent. You get a lot of traffic all hours of the day, and along with that, you have intoxicated drivers that are also driving those areas. So, and then, like I had alluded to a few minutes ago, here's our behind the numbers section, and we'll have Faith Kistler come in. All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Faith Kistler. I'm just going to give a quick chat about what forensic intelligence is, what I do for the department. So I've been with the department for 9 years.
They might need you to speak
Oh,
louder.
can you guys hear me?
think
Sorry.
they-
Okay.
I think the video.
Pull it a little closer to you. Is that better? Okay.
Perfect.
You're welcome. So I'm just going to talk about the forensic intelligence section. So I've been with the department for almost 9 years, and I've been in a couple different roles since I've been here, all analytical roles. But I just started in this one about a year ago, so it's pretty new. Let's see. Okay, so just started in March 2025. It's within the crime lab, and I'm the only person in the section. So kind of starting this thing by myself. So also trying to learn a lot about what to do and how the functionalities work. So I report directly to the lab director, Lisa Campbell, and I work directly with the detectives, the other analysts in the department, and officers. So a little bit about the forensic intelligence section.
I'm really trying to bridge the gap with communication between agencies and the county. Sometimes there is a delay in communication or just a break, so I'm trying to put those back together. I'm also looking at linking multi-agency crimes and suspects together. So a lot of the time, because there is a communication issue with different agencies, there's not a, it's hard to put a serial crime or suspect together. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to link those together. I'm developing those profiles for criminals and crime organizations. I'm trying to use that forensic data to build a picture from the forensic side rather than looking at the crime side. So if you look at crime as a whole, you've got your data, your crime information, your suspect, your lab data. I'm looking at it from the lab data. I'm starting on this side, giving it a look from, I already have a suspect. I already have the information. I just need to know, what has that person done, potentially done? What have these organizations have been involved in? So I'm trying to make actionable intelligence, intelligence for the crime-solving aspects, because we already have the suspects, so we're trying to do that on the crime-solving. And obviously, we're trying to also predict where that suspect or those organizations might commit future crimes and prevent that. So some examples of work I've already been completing. There's different crime types, of course. A lot of different mapping, so mapping of crime trends, looking into the locations, plotting cell phones, trying to give some assistance to detectives that are also working cases. And then, of course, doing searches for cold cases, CODIS hits, APHIS hits, different types of lab results that might come back, and then doing the suspect searches as well. So I've got 3 case examples. I'm just going to really quickly go over these. I was able to link a St. Louis Metro homicide to a robbery suspect. There hadn't been a link established yet, but by using the DNA, because the labs weren't really communicating or we weren't getting communication back, I was able to find that our suspect for a robbery was being held in the city for a homicide. So we were able to link those together and use the robbery charges. It's very similar in Ferguson. They were looking for a homicide suspect, and we had that suspect. We kind of knew where they were and what they were doing on a weapons charge, so I was able to send our information to Ferguson so that they could get their homicide suspect. And then a burglary as well, we were able to identify who that burglar was. I found his last known address, and then we were able to get out and complete our police work on him. So just a little bit about the processes. There's really 2 ways that I work. So I work, like I said, where I'm looking at the lab data, looking for the crimes that the suspects are committing, or someone can reach out to me and I can then help them with case assistance. So like I said earlier, plotting cell phone records, I can do the different types of mapping. Sometimes they already have a little more built in their case file, and I'm just kind of adding some assistance in that way. That is basically it. I'm happy for questions if you have any. I'm happy to talk now or offline as well.
That's interesting.
Eiley, it's wonderful to see us move in that direction. The future-focused stuff is cool too, right? When we talk about what the future brings. Is there software? Do you use AI? What helps you in the kind of the predictive, I'll use the word predictive analytics, even though it's kind of what you do, but it's also highly subjective, right? Because you're
Right. So because I've been an analyst now for almost 9 years here, I know the region as far as where crime happens and what kind of crime happens where. So I'm able to use just past experiences. I don't have a specific software that goes in and tells me like crime's going to happen here more often than there. A lot of it's just, I use different tools that will help me map visually. So it gives me a visual representation. Of course, I use different databases with on the federal side as well as our side, like CARE and things like that. And it's more just putting those together and using my past experiences as an analyst to be able to say, like, this is most likely where this is at. answer your
Yeah,
question?
just, thank you. And thank you. I probably should have led for all of us. Not that I have the authority to speak for them, but thank you for what you do. And Lisa, if you're, I don't see Lisa in here, but what a brilliant idea, wherever it came from. So,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I had one last question for Lieutenant Harris. Well, either one of you can answer it. I was watching a congressional hearing, and they were talking about how the homicide, the rates, crime is down across the country, and they primarily due to the deportation by ICE agents of the illegal immigrants, things like that. So how much of this reduction is a result of that, and how much of it is a result of the hard work of you county officers here in St. Louis County?
Everybody's staring at me. Quite frankly, sir, I mean, when it comes to like crime trends, like I discussed months ago, there's ebbs and flows. And I think it'd be short-sighted to automatically pinpoint like immigration issues that are going across the country right now, associating that immediately with crime trends. So I think that, decades from now, you might be able to look back and say in 2020s, this is what was going on, but that's as far as I would take that. There's no association that I think we can link here in the St. Louis area to that.
I didn't think so either. I just was curious because, when things like that get thrown out there, obviously most of us in our position, whether it's relatives or friends, ask us questions like this. And I usually don't have an answer. And so I like to ask you all, when I hear those things, because I know the great work that you all are doing. I've seen the labs, and basically the data that she just presented to us, it doesn't make sense that any of these other things could be contributing to, because your trends have been going down for a while now, right?
Yeah, and I think that when you look at like violent crime,
Yeah.
part one crime, other than like robberies and whatnot, like serious assaults or even murders, most of the time there's some sort of relationship there amongst the parties. So, I mean, like I said, I think it'd be they're looked at my duties to say that we could attribute what's going on now to immigration.
Thank you.
I want to comment on the situation you mentioned with the 2 deaths and the city officers that were involved. I understand that one of the city officers is married to one of our county officers, and I think this represented a great example of how great this department is, because right away I got an email, so I'm assuming everybody did, from the Welfare Association and the Family Association looking to take care of the family. And I also understand that our specialized units have been working diligently to roll up members of that gang. So I'm sure they all watch, the gang members probably sit around and watch us on YouTube or whatever, but they're coming for you.
Thanks, Ray. Strategic plan update?
Morning.
Morning.
I wanted to give you a quick update on Q4, the end of year 3 of the strategic plan. So briefly, this is just a breakdown where we were at the end of Q4. Our completed items went up by 3 compared to Q3. Our in-progress items went down by 1. Our reoccurring items went up by 1, and our not started items went down by 3. So just for a quick side-by-side, on the left, we have the end of year 2 during Q4, and the end of year 3 is on the right. Overall, during year 3, we saw our completed items increase by 3. Our completed reoccurring key activities increased by 11. There was no change in in-progress key activities, but we also decreased our not started key activities by 11 as well. So pretty big movement there. So just to briefly hit on the stuff that was completed during Q4. One of the key activities was to review all leased county properties to determine whether a lease should continue. This was a key activity that happened completely outside of the committee, kind of intuitively. County council headed that up mainly because of the administrative building and budget cuts, but it was something that was done and we could check it off of our list. The next key activity was to design a healthy employee campaign utilizing social media and videos. This was completed by the hybrid committee.
They created a video with the wellness unit, just kind of highlighting what they do. The wellness unit also taught all in-service last year for both professional and commissioned employees. And we currently have GO 91 over at the county counselor's office, the employee assistance program. So we're hoping you'll be seeing that here in the next few months. Our other completed key activity was to improve the perception and promotion of the overall care we provide our employees and their families. This was completed by the Special Ops Committee, and it was kind of a collaboration. They had a lot of overlap with a lot of stuff the other committees were working on, and a bunch of different initiatives that they completed. Some of that was a lot of wellness initiatives, refining specialized assignment process, proposals to boost morale and patrol, and just commanders further engaging with their employees. So kind of they touched on everything there. And we had one reoccurring key activity. It's another one that kind of overlapped with another one, but it was to update and replace the crime analysis mapping system used for command staff that would allow personnel to access and review data in the field. This was completed by the Chief's Office Committee. In order to accomplish this, all officers were provided access to CompStats. The public-facing crime map was revamped, and crime stats from the board meeting PowerPoints are now available on our website through a link, and also on the public-facing part of Power DMS. So overall, we're just ultimately starting year 4 very strong. We have over half of the plan still in progress, and only 6% of the key activities are not started. As we move through this next year, we're going to continue to collaborate and revise key activities as needed, just to ensure we're meeting the needs of the department right now. I know this last go around for Q1, we've already had some that we kind of put out that were already revised. So we're going to just keep chugging along here. Any questions?
Same question we asked in the fall, some of the future focus stuff, the drones, the revisiting of technology, you mentioned last fall that you were starting to give some thought to that. At some point, will we see that in the strategic plan?
I think so. I think some of the key activities that we've assigned for Q1 might have some overlap with that. If not, we're also starting to keep in the back of our mind. Unfortunately, we're going to end this plan here shortly, so we're going to make another one. So if we're not going to see it in some of the key activities here, we're definitely going to see it in the next plan for sure.
And when do we think we're going to start focus on a next plan?
Sooner rather than later. It's on the back of my mind.
Okay. Thank you.
Lieutenant, you're up, sir.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Cover the January report for Human Resources. We had a pretty productive January, so hopefully we can build upon that as we go throughout the year. That was the idea when we wrapped up 2025. If I could find my cursor. So far, right out of the gate, as far as our resignations, this year compared to last year, January, we're down resignations, retirements for commission staff, 3 versus 5 in the resignations, 4 versus 8 for the retirements. And then pro staff, we had 4 resignations in January, 5 last January, and then 1 for the retirements. For the retention block, for January of 26, we did have 3 resignations. We had 4 commissioned retirements. So there were 7 and we hired 9. Of those 9, 8 of those are actually experienced police officers that went to patrol. And that's kind of where we were at with the call it Q4 last year, trying to get some experienced police officers that could make an impact in patrol immediately. Pro staff, we had 4 resignations and 1 retirement, and we hired 13. So we were 9+ for January there, and we were a couple, 2+ for January commissioned. So anytime we can go take a month like that and build on that the rest of the year, by the time you get to December, you're looking good. Our recruit classes at the academy and dispatch academy, class 213 is underway. That's 15 St. Louis County recruits that are in that class. A lot of the physical and call it constitutional and statutory law, that's behind them. So now it's firearms. So firearms and some of the finals that are ahead of them are pretty manageable. So I'm hoping that we can retain those 15 recruits in that class. The one highlight that I wanted to speak with all of you about is Class 214 that begins in June 29th, so we're the latter part of June. They will graduate December 17th. A couple of my slides down the road cover this, but we already have 10 essentially in my office that are in the seat for that class. That's based on pre-recruit program, cadets, and everybody that's going to be going forward into that class, but we have a lot of time to work that class still. So I'm not even saying a number, but it should look pretty good.
No bets.
No bets. Excuse me.
We can assign a number for you.
I like a challenge. For the Dispatch Academy, and I advanced, but the Dispatch Academy, we have one underway that has 8. And then we also have another Dispatch Academy class that begins in April. We have 4 people for that class right now. So I'm assuming that will go up as well. A couple updates for y'all. To top the experienced police officers that we brought on board previously, we have 6 more that are in backgrounds. And when I say that they're in backgrounds, I expect them to be done by, call it mid-March at the latest. So that's 6 more experienced police officers. And we have plenty of applications coming in that are experienced police officers. And I'm not talking about police recruits there. I have 5 security officers that are in backgrounds as we speak. That is also the same, probably mid-March. Those of you that get the emails from me will see these, they'll be rolling in. I have a couple of pre-recruits to hire today, so we're constantly doing things there. I told you about the 10 that are in that class already. We also have 77 more in testing. I still have another 2 cadets, and then I have 1 or 2 security officers that want to try to jump in that class as well. Security officers, right now, my balance is getting Colonel Law and Captain Kelly up in their staffing and security, and also giving these kids the opportunity to go to recruit class and be a police officer. For 2026 so far, we've hired 12 new employees. That's 9 commissioned and 13 pro staff. That's a good way to start. So we'll see how the year trends, but that's what we're looking for right there. Everything's in the green for hiring and retention. So we're down in the loss, we're up in the hiring. That's exactly what we need for the entire year, and we'll be looking pretty good come December. Any questions?
Just a request, sir. Can, next month, would you give us the range and the average of the experienced police officers you're bringing on board?
Absolutely.
Thank
No
you.
problem at all.
Nothing else?
Emergency Communications, Mike Klaus.
Right. You don't look like Michelle.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Figure this out, where we going here? Okay, so Colonel Mann graciously asked me to come in here today and kind of introduce myself and our department. I haven't stood in front of you before to, I'm sure some of you aren't 100% sure what exactly we do. I heard OEM, I heard Michelle Ryan. So we work in the same building as Michelle Ryan. But let me just kind of give you a little history lesson. The ECC was established back in 2003. It was right after post 9/11. There was a big push to blend communication systems, radio systems, because they found out in New York in that disaster that first responders couldn't all talk to each other the way they needed to. So the late Chief Carabas from Florissant kind of circled the wagons here in St. Louis in the county and got interest in creating a like radio system for everyone in St. Louis County, and that grew bigger than that, but he was the one that kind of got it kick-started. So in 2009, the voters approved a 10% sales tax on everything but food, and that's what we're funded by. The commission was then began hiring people. Bonds were issued and build-out began on 4 core tasks. The first was to build a communications building out in Baldwin, which is where I call home today. That houses the data center for all the systems we support. It houses the Office of Emergency Management, which used to be out in Ladue Bluffs. And we moved the St. Louis County Dispatch Center from from the bottom of 41 South Central to the building I'm in today. Second thing was to replace and enhance the tornado sirens in the area. They were all muni-owned, county-owned some, just a lot of fragmentation there. So we took that on as part of the commission's task, and today there's 204 of them. We manage them all. We replaced some. They all match. When you look up at the top of the pole, there's not a whole hodgepodge of sirens like there used to be. They're all owned and operated by the ECC now in the county. Thirdly, obviously the radio system. They wanted to install a interoperable trunked radio system for all first responders and local governments. Incidentally, we ended up partnering with St. Charles and Jefferson County. So actually the system brains that we have in our building out there today serve all 3 counties. We fund our pieces of it differently. I can get into that another day, but that was our third task. Fourth was to enhance our 911 capabilities. Everything was analog. Everything went over copper wire when we started this project. We wanted to get it all digitized, get it on a private network, and go to what's called next generation 911. As of about 2 years ago, we finally made those steps to make that all happen, and today we do have a NENA recognized next gen 911 phone system. However, that continues, the technology continues to increase, so we're always looking for new ways to enhance it. In a nutshell, we went from phones in your home that didn't tell us a whole lot when you called, having to look up databases and match your number with a name. Now we're at a point where, especially if you call it a cell phone, we get location data in real time. So that continues to advance, and that's some of what we take care of. 14 staff members, including myself. I've got 3 retirements. I saw Higgs' sheet there. I'm not sure it had all mine on there. I've got 3 retirements this year alone. Not all of them are announced. I can get my notepad to work here and cooperate. Let's go back and do it again. There we go. So let's go to a slide and have you something to look at. The services we support. So today we have 13 911 dispatch centers. When I started, it was probably close to 30. They've consolidated, which has been a great thing for the taxpayers. So we have 13 911 centers. We also have a countywide backup that we paid for and support. It's actually the old EOC building out in Ladue Bluffs. I previously mentioned radio. Okay, we handle the day-to-day operational maintenance of 25 radio sites across the county, 2 data centers, one in our building and another one down in the city. And we do the programming and program management for something like 10,000 radios today. So that's first responders. Everybody you see with a radio, either in a car, on their hip, and local governments as well within the county. That's just our portion of the radio system. St. Charles and Jefferson County have their own numbers. We have GIS system. Nikki Cowers, our sole GIS coordinator, she kind of deals with the mapping that supports dispatch. So when you call and we get those dots on a map, she makes sure those maps in front of the call takers are accurate. We had to build what we call an ESI network, Emergency Services IP network that supports all of our services. So think of it as when your call comes in, we grab that call and it never leaves the ECC's grip again. We deliver it to all the dispatch centers, we deliver all the information. That same network supports our radio system through microwave and fiber to all those 25 sites and those 13 PSAPs. So We've built a network that supports all that. And then sirens. So this is always fun to look at. You can have a little more graphics, but 204 today. We're putting one in Manchester very soon to enhance some coverage over by where Kennedy High School used to be. It's now a subdivision there. That's going to be number 205. There's a map, and I think when you mentioned Michelle Ryan, I know she talked to you all last year about we're changing the zoning. What I mean by that is we used to set off all 204. If there was a tornado warning in St. Louis County borders, we set them all off. This is more her decision-making, and we just make it happen. But you see by the map now we have a north, central, and south zone. So this will, going forward, this will be controlled by the National Weather Service. So when they draw a polygon, you watch the news, you see the polygons drawn on the screen. They draw that on our screen, and that if a polygon touches any of those three zones, the sirens in that particular zone will go off. So it's possible you'd have a couple zones going off at once, but it's very possible you only have one. If it's a long, stretching, tornadic run, God forbid, you could have we could still set off all 204. And we have a standby technology. Basically, the dispatch supervisors have the ability to do this manually as well. Some upcoming project tasks here. We recently funded an upgrade to the radio system. It's already better part of 14 years old. Motorola likes to change and keep up with technology, so we're upgrading the backbone of that radio system. I think what dispatchers are going to see is we've got 100 new, all their computers that they use to interact with the radio system all going to get replaced, so that's coming real soon. We are looking for a new rooftop to put we've got a site here in Clayton, and it's on top of 41 South Central. So with the Cornerstone talk of shutting that building down, we've got some time, but we've got to figure out a place to move that site to, which is no easy task, especially when we weren't paying any rent on top of a county building. And now it looks like we're in negotiations with a building owner here in Clayton. That's, I don't want to talk about it publicly yet who it is, but we're in negotiations with them. It's a really tall building. It's actually a better spot than where we're at and could improve coverage. So we're pretty excited about that if we can get that done. And then lastly, we're due to refresh the call-taking equipment in the 911 side of the house. Those computers that I just said we're replacing for radio, we're going to have to start looking at replacing them for the call takers as well. So that's 4 minutes of what we do really, really fast. Any questions?
Who activates the sirens?
So the National Weather Service is going to do it going forward. We've got a piece of software that runs that's connected to them. When they set that polygon up, go back to the screens, when it touches any part of that, any of those red, white, and blue areas there, those sirens will go off, and that's triggered by them. So if for some reason that doesn't work, excuse me, very dry mouth, we can manually do it. You know, if we're still listening, we're still monitoring, and this is Vern's alley. They monitor multiple ways of getting that from the National Weather Service. So within 30 seconds, these sirens aren't going off, we'll know it, and they'll just walk over and they can manually make that happen.
Is our system different than the one in the city where they had their
Great question.
issue?
It's actually the exact same. We've been dealing with this software company and making our sirens work this way for years, but we haven't had the National Weather Service trigger. Today, they upgraded to what we do. So we actually match what the city has, but we're a much bigger scale. And they've proven it works because they actually got that National Weather Service part together this last summer, storm season, after all the problems they had. So we've been using this for a long time. We decided to change the zoning. That was irrelevant to the city, but to answer your question, we actually use the same thing they do. We were just there first. Any other questions?
Like all your technology upgrades, whether it's the radio system or 911 or anything else that wasn't mentioned or won't be mentioned in the future, is all that funded out of the tax increase that was passed, whatever it was, 10, 15 years ago?
Yes, all of that has been funded out of our ECC tax, and that is only dedicated to us. We can't use it anywhere else, and we haven't reached out and had to take funds from anywhere else to help do what we do.
Thank you.
Does that tax have a sunset provision in it?
No, sir. We fought that in the beginning. I wasn't really in this position back then. I remember when there was some opposition to not sunsetting it. And if we had, I couldn't pay back the bonds. We couldn't do our maintenance. We would have built everything and then walked away. And that obviously wouldn't have worked out too well.
Any other questions? Any other questions? No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that ends my report.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Item 5, we are approval of minutes. Amy, I'm sure you've already noted in the record that Commissioner Hassler is here for the vote. You have in front of you, or you had in your packet, your January 20th, 2026 minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Incoming communication, I know we received a couple of emails since our last meeting. I think, Lieutenant, did you probably respond to those appropriately?
Is it one in particular that we continually get?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm working with our CIT unit with regards to that. Some of the emails are difficult to decipher, so.
Yes.
That's why we're working congruently, but we're on top of it.
Okay. Thank you for that. Any outgoing communications other than those responses that Lieutenant's doing? Any old business that we need to address? None?
I would remind the chair that I still have a motion that I'm holding regarding the issue of our employees and their vehicle damages. So I'll hold it again, but I will not forget it.
Thank you. Anything else?
I'm assuming we'll get into discussion on the status of that in the closed session.
Absolutely. It's on our agenda. Okay, item 8 are our contracts. We have some professional service agreements, A through K in our packet. Is there a motion that we approve these professional service agreements?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything for the public forum, Amy? No? Okay. Item 10, the Board of Police Commissioners may vote to go into closed meeting for legal advice and review of claims and lawsuits involving the Police Department, Section 610.0211 RSMO and Section 114.020.11 SLCRO, and to discuss personnel matters closed under Section 610.0213 and Section 114.020.13 SLCRO. Is there a motion that we move to closed session?
Move that the board moves to closed session.
Second. All right. Vote, Amy?
Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes?
Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
Thank you. We are officially moving to closed session. We are back from our closed session where there was a vote to return to open. The only agreement that we have as far as our next date for our meeting is March 18th of 2026 for our next board meeting. Is there anything else?
Anything else?
Amy? They're going to get a motion first.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson? Yes. Commissioner Wild?
See you all next month.